And then, of course, if it's a 3-2, then there is a chance with that 3-0 that HLE are just going to be eliminated, and there is nothing else to worry about. Of course, HLE still have things in their own hands, but it's kind of crazy. This is not the time that KT were planning on collapsing, because this could mean the end of their tournament, because T1 and Gen.G both winning in their next 2 matches over the weekend is the predicted outcome.
It feels almost like a formality. We'll see. D+, I think D+ has a lot more of a fighting chance than HLE, but I have loved the start of KT's draft. Talked about how predictable they have been, but both support picks, like game 1, we saw Palu play the Nautilus. He was like, I'm gonna sacrifice lane to be another great team fighting tool. The lane was so bad, it went so poorly that didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then in game 2, Ghost is like, I'm gonna sacrifice team fighting power and engage to win the lane. Didn't win the lane, and hopefully here in this 3rd game, we get a support that's either more well-rounded on both sides, not as wonky and lopsided each or either way. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Or just in general, like a strong pairing, you know, like Lucian Braum or something pretty straightforward.
Alistar first pick?
Or is it Malphite first pick?
Yeah, I mean, Malphite first pick would make a fair bit of sense. Obviously, Silas very happy to steal away an Unbreakable Will, but Unstoppable Force is also a pretty good one. So let's see what this final ban is going to be from KT. Do you just take away the Malphite? That might be the thing that they decide to do.
I don't think there's another mid pick that you're really worried about. The Aurora's banned. Varus is so flexible right now that I suppose that is going to be the safest option here.
Sponge Rock.
I do think Malphite first pick is punishable.
I agree. I actually think that, especially with Sejuani compositions, I feel like they deal with the Malphite quite effectively. But we'll just have to see what KT decide to do.
I mean, Ezreal is gone. Corki is gone. Those are some of the more mobile AD carries into buying space for Malphite. So aiming could have a tougher time, especially if you just slam lock
Felio's Thresh.
It looks like that's what they're going to do. We talked about it when Ghost was subbed in.
Oh,
go for the Mundo into the Malphite, who really loves to fight Malphite when he can interact with him. But
yeah, actually feels like a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, I do think that that's kind of... You just pick anything that Malphite can't just one-tap with his R button, and then you're like, all right, well, you can't interact with me long-term as...
Oh,
this,
the classic!
The counter, the range counter. Maybe just take the Thresh away, or even just go straight into the Lulu and say, I'm gonna win this lane no matter what.
I like the Blitzcrank, and that is what they're going to lock in. This is sort of a classic answer to these Enchanter lanes, but Ghost has to hit the buttons.
Don't grab the Malphite.
No, that would be a bad move. However, grabbing the Lulu, that would feel absolutely fantastic. Let's see whether they can actually do that, though. That's going to be the question. Very volatile, like massively high variance. I mean, this is as his bottom lane is concerned.
This is a very Lehen's pick, right? He likes to play the Blitzcrank into Lulu. Kind of one of his specialties. Duro as well, quite famed for it even before he joined the LCK.
Yep.
And so you have to imagine Lehen's is pretty good at making sure he can space this well and not get caught. Akali is taken away, which doesn't tell us a whole lot right now. Silas is banned, the Azir is Fearless banned.
Yeah, there's things on the table, things like Yone and Syndra. Zoe, another big one for BDD, has often picked it in states like this, Game 3s especially. Not going to be picked this time around. Victor has seen, you know, a decent amount of play as well, especially paired alongside the Malphite. We did see that do some decent work a couple of days ago.
I think there's going to have to be AP damage here for BDD. I don't think there's any flexibility there in this draft. Kennen gets taken away, which also, again, as a counter pick for a lot of picks that are just already gone, Kingen might just be calling for GP at this point, but I just do think this draft doesn't have much of a frontline. Malphite as a frontliner is fake. It's not real. He presses R, and then either you win the fight because of it, or he dies right away, or he ults away when he's in a bad position.
Oh dear, don't remind me. Jax going to be a ban away here, and actually that would have been a lot of AP damage. It's kind of interesting one with its current state. As you were talking about GP, Perfect is cycling through a bunch of very dangerous picks.
I don't know what this Pomp's
in.
identity is if he actually locks the Aurelia. Like, what are we even doing?
Well,
There's no way.
We're blade surging. That's what they'd be doing. This timer is getting dangerously low.
Zahin
there
makes
is Zahin, okay.
actual sense, but...
As Vestian would say, Zahin. Locked in here.
Zahin.
Zahin.
Remember Oishin?
I do.
Yeah, hope he's doing well.
Yeah, me too.
The draft here has a lot of holes in the early game for KT. It's going to take a little while to come online, to say the least. As Yone looks to be the option here in the mid lane for Scout.
That's a lot of wombo combo potential. And let's see what Kingan's going to be doing here. It could be just a Gwen
honestly,
to get a bit of extra magic damage.
Could even just be like Gasante, and you feel really good about it.
Yeah, you'd probably be fine.
It's not, you know, going to punish the Zahin too well. And now the Cannon Man makes a lot more sense, but yeah, just have an insane frontline, a lot of range. And we're just trolling with this one, I think.
All right, we just want to hover a fair bit of Aurelia today.
Twisted Fate.
Well, this is an old BDD special.
Okay, so you gold card somebody, they get Blitzcrank grabbed. You charm somebody, they get Blitzcrank grabbed.
I'm not so sure about the Ari, personally.
I really liked KT's drafts outside of support, even though there were arguments to be made for both support lock-ins for KT in games 1 and 2. This draft, I don't really want any part of. It's so situational. You got to hit the charms. The Blitzcrank has to hit the hooks. Zahin's early game is pretty weak. The Mundo is also pretty low impact early on.
This is the problem, though, Wolf. Everything was playable if you did it right on the Rift. A lot of what has been happening here today has not been about the draft at all.
Yeah.
It's been about how things have played out, especially on that bottom side. Like if Ghost lands, like 2 phenomenal hooks in lane, if Lehens finds himself in an uncomfortable position and then just dies, this could just be over in a heartbeat. But Lehens is a great Lulu player, always has been, and it's just not the way that Nongshim have been playing today. They've just been better.
Also now have a draft with how this finishes up here for KT, where the Malphite doesn't really even have to ult the Aphelios. He can actually just kind of ult anybody. It doesn't matter. If they get that single target to die, with the front line they have with the Yone follow-up and the Jinx follow-up, and the Jinx gets excited and Taeyun can pop off in team fights, she'll outdo the Aphelios in almost every scenario here. There's too many threats for the Aphelios, and the mid damage just isn't there. It's pick-based with the Mundo. Not sure about this one, KT Rolster.
I'm a little bit worried about it, but if anything snowballs, it works out. So let's see what happens as we dive onto the Rift. All right, KT fans sounding pretty desperate here at the Chijijik Lol Park today as they are staring down the barrel of a 3-0 and a guaranteed last place in Group Elder. Obviously, Elder with, you know, a pretty good run at the moment. You know, they would still be ahead in points, but it would then require either DK to beat T1 or HLE to beat Gen G.
So you see the level 1 in the bottom lane. Lehens is like, if you hook me at level 1 with your Calibrum out, you do not win that trade. So I will just stand in front of you. And so, you know, gonna have to take a little bit of time before, you know, the knockup is ready for Ghost, where they can actually really play this, or hide behind turret, hope to hook them into the turret range.
Yeah, maybe just employ the turret to try and help you out.
The Blitzcrank is a classic counter to Lulu because you outrange her, you don't deal with her poke, she's very squishy, but when you have Calibrum sitting next to it, it's kind of like, well, I have Glitter Lance, and that might be better. Like actually kind of maybe we out DPS because we also have a...
I mean, this is the thing, like everything beats Blitzcrank if you don't hit hooks.
But even if you do hit the hook at level 1, you're like,
all right, yeah,
is that
you don't have very many buttons.
Yeah, so they still get control of the lane, which means there's minions in the way for hooks.
Oh, Perfect going to get picked up here by Kingan momentarily. The Zahin not exactly having the greatest time at level 2. We have seen Zahin do a lot of really good things here in the LCK. We were thinking that at this current state, the Zahin wouldn't look fantastic, as we've got 2 of Faker's skins going back and forth here in the mid lane. Very fun.
2 of Faker's rivals fighting each other, one behind Faker as a trainee so many years ago. The other facing against him in countless important matchups here. BDD across so many teams.
Yep.
His rival on Gen G, and then later the Telecom War rival as well. We won't talk about the Nongshim stent, but he's playing against Nongshim now, so it's topical.
BDD was also really good on Longshu, you know, and Kingzone back in the day. Those were more good BDD times. Let's not talk about the Nongshim times.
Yeah, the Nongshim time is a little bit less interesting.
Cuz is on a phone call. Scout is dead! Solo kill for BDD in the mid lane. He took Ignite! We didn't even talk about it!
I did not even notice that.
Oh my goodness, incredible players. Now, Ghost is in the fog of war, but I don't think he has his hook. He does have his hook available. Cuz just wandering away, though. Looks like Sponge will be able to just take away this little Rift Scuttler.
Well, BDD really just decided this was a solo queue game.
I also think BDD decided that he doesn't want to get 3-0 by Nongshim today.
He's like, all right, look, Sione thinks he can use his Unbind to trade with me.
All right, well, Ghost didn't want Sponge to back.
But Sponge will back anyways, at a slightly delayed rate.
And this wave is in a really annoying spot for KT. Let's have a look at this one more time. Oh, the charm. The casual charm.
And he's like literally calling that he got him way before he dies because he knows he has the Ignite,
Ignite as well.
With Ignite to proc there on the play.
Man.
And yeah, this lane, it could be worse. Could be worse. But it's not ideal yet. But the Blitzcrank always has value later on.
All right, hooking and connect onto Lahans. He gets Gravitum as well. Does have to heal. And aiming, looking for a little bit more. Taeun just going to try and dissuade him from doing too much more here as Ghost. Looking a little bit more healthy as the Zap is going to connect. And Taeun's looking for this, a knock-up. And it's not quite enough as Ghost, he might be going down as well. It's another disaster for KT in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's just, the more you watch this matchup, you're like, if you hook him with the Lulu there, or with the Jinx there, when she presses Q and gets more attack speed, do you actually out DPS with the Aphelios? Not yet, I think. It was very close, but unfortunately the Blitzcrank can only offer CC, but really not a whole lot of damage, whereas the Lulu can offer a lot of defensive tools, but also damage, and the Jinx's damage output is pretty high. And we'll watch it again. Like, it's really hard to calculate, and the Gravitum comes through, the knockup comes through, Lahens is super low, but he has heal. The aiming puts a bunch of damage into this Lulu while Taeun is shooting him, and the Ghost is like, I'm waiting for buttons! I'm waiting for buttons! I'm waiting for buttons! He's eventually going to get those buttons back, but it's just too late.
Yeah, the flash knockup does come through without getting too much done, as aiming was already dead. So a little bit unfortunate there. It's not going to be the largest lead on the map right now. BDD still holds on to that one, and that will mean that KT has a slight advantage. But, I mean, it's just the same story here in this bottom lane. And this is not a lane that's, oh, we just want to be able to win the lane phase. This is a bottom lane that can just hard carry the game. Jinx is so strong in the later stages with the get excited resets. So KT needs to be so careful. Charm going to miss this time, as BDD zoning Scout away endlessly here in this lane. 20 CS up.
He is having a statement laning phase. Like, this is him saying, you think you can play Yone blind to my Ahri?
And it also bleeds over, right? Sponge isn't able to take the crab, things like this. Another hook going to connect, this time onto Taeun. But aiming, a little bit too scared to fight back too much. Little Ant's barely going wide as the Zap, he just walks into it. Not sure about that one.
I mean, Jinx was a classic counter pick to Aphelios because she does so much damage early compared to him and also outranges him when he tries to retreat from trading patterns.
And you also match the scaling. Exactly. That's one of the biggest things.
And so, like, the timing for, we might be able to turn this into a hook play, I think has been missed. And in fact, the last time we saw it, it didn't work, and it's not working here either. And it's, I don't think this is a Ghost play issue. Like, he hit the hooks, but if he doesn't hit the hooks, they just lose the lane naturally. He hits the hooks and they don't have the damage, so it doesn't matter. This might have been more of a draft issue than the other two.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand what they're going for. And Ghost is once again just going to walk up and hook him. Does wander back, but the Flame Chompers are down. Ghost has no flash, but is going to at least survive. So denies the reset by sacrificing his entire health bar, but one of the good things is he's alive.
Yeah, also, you know, knowing that his 80, oh my god.
Scout gets unbound once again.
BD has Ignite still, so he is just going to have to back.
Yeah, that is still ulti up and available here for BDD. So next time a charm lands, I mean, yeah, Scout is dead. He realizes that, has to go home.
The last time we've seen this much of a mid lead, maybe it was Showmaker Roamer, man.
But also, like, I don't remember the last time I've seen Ari dominate a lane
this
hard.
is crazy. It's the Ignite alone making such a big impact.
All right, Mondo, once again on a phone call, moving down towards his bottom side.
Hits at 6.
Sponge out.
So I don't think they can do anything here, as Taeyeon also has his ultimate, which might have been a game changer if they did try to go for that. So, oh no! Oh, it's painful.
And aiming also a little bit of a shout out to Scout here as well, because he's using Viper's skin from when Scout and Viper won the World Championship in 2021.
Yeah, that was the last time Scout beat BDD. He's 1 game away from doing it again.
And aiming wanted to remind him of that. And I think, I imagine BDD would be annoyed. That's what he wants to remind him about. And so BDD, being annoyed, decides to just smash Scout in lane, solo kill him, and get even more. It's okay. Sponge finds the angle, and that's a very dead aiming. This is what happens when you don't have very much mobility on your AD carry, and there's a malfight. As remember, Ghost could have played Thresh. As Taeyeon flashed, wasn't actually able to lock down the kill. BDD wanders on down, and so Taeyeon realizes that he can't do too much more, because still on a phone call, is taking the grubs.
They could have also taken the Lulu instead of the Aphelios and tried to do a few other different things. Like, there's a little more flexibility there. They picked Aphelios into Malphite as well, mind you.
That did happen.
And that's not what this game is about, although it was kind of what that bottom gank was about, because the Malphite ulted him and then he died. As Ghost just kind of sent his fist through the air. Almost like he was fist bumping the Malphite, kind of, you know, in a apologetic way. It's rough. Atlas, this series has been kind of shockingly not what we expected. We thought it was going to be bloodthirsty, back and forth, anything could happen, but yes, BDD is massively ahead, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to be enough. He's already...
Another charm, and down will go Scout. Another Spirit Rush, and he just takes him down. Back-to-back solo kills. BDD does not want to go home.
Maybe it is going to be enough. Starting to wonder. As Scout is just not going to be a champion this game.
Do you know what BDD just typed in chat? Play safe bottom lane. That is what he typed in chat. And please, Aiming and Ghost, listen to the man, because he's trying so hard.
He's like, you better hook White Charm later, okay? I will be able to find some charm angles this game. As he has Blackfire Torch put together now, even an Amp Tome on top of it. At this point, BDD should be like, Aiming, go mid. I'm going bottom lane. I'm being a bit facetious again here, but he just doesn't miss these charms.
Oh,
and like Scout keeps trying to hands check him with his the unbind, and
he even ulted as well. I didn't even see that Scout last time around.
He keeps trying to like outplay it with the unbind and failing it, and so he dies. He's 2,000 gold behind.
Man, that is absolutely obscene, this advantage, because moving on down, let's see whether he can actually go for a little bit of a 50-50 on this Dragon. Ghost just bleeding health here, as it is just going to be the steal. Cuz goes where he pleases on this Mondo, as there is the engage. Scout follows up as BDD is going to get taken down, but Taeyeon's dead as well. It's a double for Aiming, and finally the KT bottom lane does something.
And just when we were starting to not believe, just when the excitement had reached the peak, or the trough.
Yeah, the trough.
The peak of the bottom of the graph.
It reached the minimum.
Anti-peak.
Well, Lehens might be dead also. Never mind.
All right, he's okay. Taeyeon is heading back here to lane, but Crystalline Overgrowth, see, Aiming quite able to get that plate. It's just going to let the wave crash through. Some minions will be denied. BDD was shut down by Scout, so that is good for Scout. Yep. The bad news is that now the gold lead that the AD carries had is gone because Aiming picks up 2. And the push onto the Ahri is kind of a bizarre choice here. They could have actually just gone for the bottom side of the fight and avoided the Ahri entirely. They went so deep for this that Aiming has free reign. He's full health. Like, he's
I mean, the thing is, like, BDD just does so much more damage than everyone else on the map. So I think I completely understand the mindset of, like, if we kill BDD before he presses any buttons, then damage potential of KT gets eliminated largely.
I kind of felt like if you run away from BDD by attacking the other side. That could have been
that's another
the other argument, but
you are Ari though, and you have a decent amount of movement speed. As hook onto the rock. As Cuz, let's see whether he can slow him down enough. Of course the charm lands as BDD takes down the Malphite with some true damage onto the rock.
Let's be honest, BDD was going to pick up POM if they get the comeback no matter what.
Yeah.
We already knew that, but man, is he making it look cool if it does happen. As another play here from Ghost this time, the follow-up from BDD. But that's Malphite with Flash at like 2 seconds away, 3 seconds away, I think, at that timing. They find it, they punish it.
Ooh. Red-white guns here for aiming is a little bit scary, but you can see Cuz is sort of off to the side, aiming. If they do just collapse onto him, might just die. So they do just give up on the play. BDD was roaming down also. Level 11 here for Perfect. Him and Kingen just rocketing up the experience numbers, utilizing the quest nicely as Taeyoon just ghosting after aiming, and he has to flash. Okay.
Jinx!
Yeah, that's right there.
Yeah.
Correct.
Flash, yeah. That's why I said it, you know?
Yeah, it was
because we spoke at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
Power Jinx. They are going to be able to push this wave in. I think grab that proc on the overgrowth. We'll grab a plate. And because Sponge is here, and get more.
Oh, Hook is going to connect onto Taeyoon. Let's see whether the tower gets angry as we pause.
Whoa.
That is no weird time to pause. All right. We can adjudicate the situation here. As we can see, this was looking like a great play for Nongshim until I glanced down at the minimap, and then there was BDD. So things could start going wrong, but we do need to try and figure out what's going on here. Something about Cuz, something happened. The Mundo was trying to go somewhere, and maybe something said, no, you can't go there, but he's like, I'm Mundo, so better pause, because I go where I please. It's a peripheral issue, guys, so it actually shouldn't be something that lasts too much longer, but a very uncomfortable time to pause.
Yeah.
We've all had that moment, though, right? You know, you're using a wireless mouse, and you saw the red light, but you're like, you know, it's so annoying to have to charge it.
I can still hear the like Windows XP like sound in my nightmares.
And you're in the middle of a team fight, and then all of a sudden, your character just stops doing anything at all.
You flash in to look for a play, and then suddenly your mouse just goes to the top right corner.
Yeah.
Your whole camera's just panning to the enemy nexus. You're like, ah!
And the most, like, if you do that and you're, like, playing a tank as well, so you're just standing there doing nothing, dying, oh, God.
You will get showered in question mark pings.
Oh, so many question mark pings. You might actually distract everyone with how stupid the play looks. That the enemy team does something dumb, and so it's actually a bait all along. What if you're playing Wukong? You know, they're like, oh, he used Warrior Trickster, didn't he? Haha.
So I think,
he didn't.
Talking about the game state here, I get too deep into it, but BDD's rotation over, he is going to have to hit the Jinx with a charm. And I think if he does, maybe he could actually turn it around. But, you know, we know the other guys for KT, their lives are forfeit.
Yep.
It's the pause happens, but I mean, at the very least, Ghost is dead because I think be able to survive because he's Mundo and he's under turret. And
yeah, Ghost is definitely dead. I think that killing a Mundo is always a little difficult. He's got a few items already completed.
If like BDD, I don't have all the cooldowns, but if like BDD ends up getting polymorphed and they kill him, and because he might be able to live, but then they get the turret. Like there's a lot of things that need to go right, but maybe BDD can save things because he is just so big. So fed on this Ahri. So we have a lot of fans here hoping for KT to get the reverse sweep here, get the win for their group as well. And, you know, seeing not a lot of faces of the fans here, but...
Yeah, we're going to be getting back into the game very, very soon, guys, but we need to prime you. There is a dive happening right now in the bottom lane underneath the bottom turret. Let's see how it does go as Ghost the first one to go down because largely immovable. Taeyoon now trying to kite this one out as BDD in a little bit of trouble, but there's the briefcase and the finish comes in. All the essences come down and aiming even gets himself a kill onto his former support in Lahens, and Nongshim not looking so hot here in this game.
Yeah, not very happy about how that went.
Man, it's so cinematic, isn't it, without the UI?
Yeah, it's back. Oh, it's practically like a teaser for...
I know, it's like a mad movie.
Okay, so BDD is coming down already, by the way. I didn't quite realize that at this point. So Ghost and Cuz just kind of holding their ground here. And then after the pause, you see Tatum backs off. They instantly try to turn on to BDD. The polymorph I mentioned comes down. But BDD's still tanky enough. He is just so big. They don't have the damage to kill him, and aiming has so much range, actually, to follow up.
Even the Moonlight Vigil hitting. And we get the nicer out of Ghost from the Death Chamber. And it was actually, in the end, a good hook and sacrifice, as it was his first death of the game as well. 4, 1, and 2 for BDD. He is in a really good spot, is understatement of the game. 2,000 gold in the lead, but 1.2k also for Cuz, with his Heart Steal up to 123.
BDD's got to be than that. He's got to be close to that second item as well. As
speaking of Heart Steal, look at that, the big clobbering.
Sometimes we don't proc those, and it makes a lot of...
it does make a lot of people sad, mostly orcs.
Yeah, I was going to say, it does make a specific person on our talent team very upset, but he's hitting them up to 144 right now. Scout is like, I really would like to lane against Perfect instead, but he will not.
Well, Perfect just going to take down this outer turret on the bottom side. Zahin is, like, in games like this, I feel like Zahin is so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
When he's just not the main character.
When he's not,
he gets
when no
to
one
turn up at 40 minutes and just do ridiculous
Exactly.
things.
He's a scaling top.
Whoa, we flashed on top of aiming. The hook is going to come down onto the Malphite, and he'll tank up the turret forever and be fine.
Aiming does not have flash, so...
The peeling power of a Blitzcrank on full display there, ladies and gentlemen.
He tried. The turret will get it done.
Yeah, little non-existent on that one.
He has a lot of health stacking. That was the problem. Now he's turned his Giant's belt into a shield belt. Haha! And BD is just taking this turret. This game is all about him, by the way. Yeah. Whether you win or lose, it's like, how did BDD carry the game, or did BDD fail to carry the game?
Scout is being that Yone in your game, off real. In the side lane. Seen this many, many times.
It is the correct call in this pro
Absolutely.
game.
However, it's just
it is very funny.
Painfully reminiscent. As Drake going to be skewered here by KT. Is that like the first dragon that KT have taken?
Not quite.
Was it the first one in this game? I think it was.
Yes. Aiming.
Oh no, it wasn't. It's the second. They took one in the last.
Chomper set. I mean, there's no play here.
No. And this is the thing, like the follow-up CC is like, it's very similar to Caitlyn's situations, right, where you put the Yordle Snap Trap down. The Flame Chompers work in a very similar manner.
Are on Soul Point, in fact.
Yeah, it's a lot of dragons that he's taken so far.
And the Cosmic Drive, which is a kind of niche item on Ahri, but so strong in this type of scenario.
And this combination, it's what Orcs was talking about yesterday. The combination, or not yesterday, the day before.
On a recent day.
Yeah, you get to just like have loads and loads of movement speed, which is kind of nice for the Ahri that wants to reposition to get charms.
With Cloud Soul on the way.
Well, now just going to be ulting towards Scout here. Misses a whole bunch of buttons though. And will just back away. Or? Okay, no, just clears out the wave. But he's got a decent amount of ability haste, so he should have that ultimate back up and available relatively soon.
The game state here is, it's so wonky because I think this composition is very reliant on the Yone being able to ult people if Nongshim are going to win. And Mundo's becoming a very, very large health bar that will be an immovable object. And
flanking teleport. Kingan's trying to come on down as Taeun, he's ghosted. Ghost is running. Okay, there's a charm onto Kingan, who takes so much damage. Cuz it's such an awkward spot though. The all-out flies on forward, and they take out the Mundo. Sponge finds the ultimate aiming, sidesteps it, and they will be able to wipe him out. Now you've got the Zahin finding the Grim Deliverance as Taeun basically out of the fight, but Scout gets in there. Down goes Ghost, but Perfect's now popping off. The flash forward from BDD, and Kingan bites the dust. Flash away there from the rest of Nongshim. And KT just looking a little bit too large in this game, as aiming still alive, and we'll be able to wipe out this turret. Is there any more fight in Nongshim? That's going to be the question, as Taeun is still alive and lands the zap onto aiming. Just don't think it's quite going to be enough here. Now another one team fight here for KT.
Crazy that Taeun got caught by Perfect's knock up there. Think that if that doesn't hit, he has a lot more damage in the fight. We'll watch this again. Kingan comes in here on the flank, which makes this very awkward. Aiming has the proper guns for the fight, but such a front line here. Then Cuz gets isolated, the Wild Growth comes through. And then watch Taeun here, Perfect just kind of gets on top of him, gets the double, or the second knock up there, or the, second activation to get the knock up. And then Taeyun he has a ton of damage, but he cannot do enough of it. BDD's just like, just let me take care of this. Come on.
It was actually beautifully played by Kingen to get the third Q onto the Zion as he was making his way in. But then, yeah, just flash on top of the Jinx, and it was a little bit difficult to deal with it. Good teleport placement there from Perfect to get into the fight, as the hook just barely going wide. As Ghost, the Eye Blitzcrank, wandering around.
I kind of feel that this game is still winnable for Nongshim. Like, I don't think they're in a positive game state by any means, but...
I mean, KT have proven one thing so far this LCK Cup, and that is every game is losable.
Yeah, that's too true. I don't say that too loud. We're on the KT side right now. Some of these fans speak English, Atlas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta call a spade a spade.
No, I know. I just think that this comp is still very much a BDD or bust, and yes, the IE is done for aiming with second item IE. They have a Zahin that he got through the toughest part of the game. As you can see in that last fight, can be incredibly impactful, especially when he has flash. But Malphite can sometimes just do this funny thing where he ults a flashless AD carry.
Yeah, if he just ults multiple people, namely BDD and aiming.
And the fact that, like, one of the scary things about Ahri being the big fed one right now in terms of setting these fights up and looking for charms is that Polymorph can be miserable to play into as the Ahri. Sometimes you're like, I think I have this angle, and then you just, well, yesterday you turn into a chicken or something, and then you're like, oh. And then Malphite ults you, and then Jinx gets the first reset, and you have to be very careful. You have to choose your battles correctly. BD has done a great job of it so far, but I do wonder, like, there's a lot of variance in this.
Oh, can Ghost find the hook this time? No, he cannot. Perfect on a flank angle is now looking a little bit uncomfortable as Grim Deliverance comes down, gets a bunch of his health bar back. He will be respawning as Sponge tries to get out with the ulti and looks a little bit weird for it as aiming's over the wall, finds the Orbit Deception, but there's the ulti out of Scout. Perfect gets a bunch of damage, and Taeyun's still alive for a very long time, but finally goes down to aiming. And Nongshim lose their bottom lane, but at least they killed Perfect.
Yeah, they killed Perfect. Perfect did a lot of work, and BDD was able to come in there and just continue to be a menace in this game. They get the kill onto Taeyun, and that's the end of the fight. BDD is the main character, but he has a secondary real threat, whereas if Taeyun is dead, his composition is it's Jinx with a wall trying to protect the Jinx. If Taeyun dies, there is no longer a fight. There is no longer an angle. Let's see, Perfect ends up getting his reset here.
He hits the ult on 4.
Yeah, it's crazy how you see he instantly gets that passive to go into to the res. And then Taeyun here on the side really wants to do that damage, but
he gets hooked!
Ghost gets him over the wall.
Yeah.
And that is all it takes. If he lives there, doesn't get hooked, BDD can't push up like that.
I can't believe I missed that hook in the play-by-play. I needed to be able to celebrate Ghost finding that angle, making it happen. He had a rough time in game number 2, but this has looked better so far. Even if there has been some of the comical moments, like, you are, in the end, the one hook that wins you the fight. As there's another one, picks out the Jinx, and aiming puts her in the blender. The 1-2 punches, the rest of KT have closed in. There's the pullback as well, as Perfect is trying to keep them interested. Down goes the Cassante. He's durable, but just not durable enough, as KT will augment their Cloud Soul with a Baron.
He finds another one, threads the needle. Cannot be getting hooked as the AD carry. Ask aiming.
Yeah.
He's glad to have the Blitzcrank on this side. On his side this time is...
Oh, Ghost was expecting Sponge to try and get out of there, and he didn't. And now he's charmed, and I think he may be dead. Aiming going to be picking that one up. That's the jungler dead, ladies and gentlemen. However, no one was going to get to this Baron pit, and this game, ladies and gentlemen, I think it just might be over.
I think so. Look at this.
Oh, Ghost!
And the angle is perfect, and Taeyun just greeds for an auto.
That's my world champion right there.
Like, if that doesn't hit, it's still maybe playable with Perfect. He has a nice angle here. But now, like, Nongshim are just 100% no way to do anything with the AD carry blowing up instantly. Scout is not a threat. The Malphite is... deceptively not tanky, because that's just kind of how it goes, especially into a fed Aphelios. So he dies in the jungle.
BDD has found Scout again, and Scout does manage to ult his way out, but BDD is Ahri. and has Cloud Soul, as well as a Cosmic Drive and a Blackfire Torch. You are not escaping!
It also just makes Charm look like a targeted ability. The Charm hits post-ult. He has that running, so he's able to get him over the wall there. And KT, they absolutely should be able to, this time, close the game out from here. Still, it's an Ahri, right? It's not the same type of mid that we've seen that just has insane wave clear like the Rise or a Talia that can wall people off while you siege turrets. It's still a little bit tricky to close games out with this mid, but they have a Zahen, they have an Aphelios, and that was just Scout dying a 4th time here, trying to live up to BDD. Perfect on the flank.
Perfect doing his favorite thing, which is stand amongst the entire enemy team, finds the double pullback and the Grim Deliverance. He stacked up the passive, so he is absolutely fine. They'll take down the Rock as Kingen, just trying to be the front line, finds the knockback, but he's so incredibly dead. BDD finds the angle, and my God, Perfect is looking brilliant on this Zahen.
I think Perfect might have found a new champ.
Yep, I think he has.
Might have found a viable.
Do you know what
play.
KT have found though, Wolf? This is the main thing. They found another game in this series. We didn't think that it was possible after the first 2, but they have extended it out, and we are at least going to a game number 4. KT finally turning up.
Completely took the Yone out of the game. Aiming has fed 2 kills, and then from there, his composition becomes so tricky to play, but Ghost has that one hook in mid lane as well. Will look like maybe Nongshim got a little bit of steam back, only got a little bit of control back on the map. Ghost says nope, finds that angle onto Taeyun, and now we're back to wondering what is going to happen in this series. Anything can happen.
Yeah!
Ignite Ahri, it was not on my bingo card. I didn't write that one in.